Are you serious? Are you serious? Well, thank you for being a member here on Patreon. Guys, there's a lot of conspiracy theories, and I'll bring some of them up from time to time, even right here on Patreon. But what if I told you there's 10 conspiracy theories that have proven to be true? What? Well, the first one is that the CIA developed a heart attack gun. That was a conspiracy theory a lot of people thought was crazy. But as the theory goes, the CIA did build a secret weapon back in the 1960s and 70s that could cause a fatal heart attack. The weapon shot a small poison dart that could penetrate clothing and left behind nothing but a tiny red dot on the skin. The dart disintegrated on impact, and the target would only feel a small prick, similar to a bug bite. Since the poison would quickly be in the body, it could not be detected in an autopsy, as it would disintegrate and would literally clear out of the body. Number two, you've heard this, that the CIA spied on and controlled the American media. Well, that was true. The CIA project Operation Mockingbird spied on members of the Washington Press Corps back in 1963, 1972, 1973. They also paid journalists to publish CIA propaganda articles. They wiretapped their phones, they monitored their offices, and they kept tabs on their activities and their visitors. A third conspiracy theory was the government poisoned alcohol during Prohibition. What? Well, that was true. When the government banned alcohol in 1920, bootleggers would steal industrial alcohol used in paints, fuels, solvents, and medical supplies and re-still it for sale. Some of the alcohol contained heavy metals and led to illnesses or blindness. In an attempt to stop people from drinking alcohol, the government changed the formulas of industrial alcohol to make it completely undrinkable. At least 10% of the industrial alcohol formulates had to be contained. They contained methyl alcohol, a poisonous substance, in addition to other noxious ingredients such as kerosene, gasoline, chloroform, formaldehyde, and acetone. This plan backfired, though. People still drank the poisonous alcohol, and more than 10,000 people died. Number four, there was a conspiracy theorist that the United States Air Force Laboratory researched the possibility of using pheromones as weapons. That came out to be true. This theoretical research conducted by the U.S. Air Force Laboratory back in 1994 explored the use of non-lethal chemical weapons called gay bombs. They speculated on the effects of troops doused in female hormones. The objective was to make the soldiers sexually irresistible to one another and negatively impact their effectiveness in combat. Can you believe that? We did that in 1994. Number five, the United States government stole dead bodies for radioactive testing. It's true. After dropping nuclear bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, the United States government stole parts of the dead bodies to measure the effects of the nuclear fallout on the human body. Researchers needed young tissue, but the agents who were recruited to find the recently deceased babies and children took the samples, including full limbs. Without the consent of the grieving families, more than 1,500 families were affected. And then there's number six. That's that conspiracy theory that President Woodrow Wilson's wife ran the country after he suffered a stroke. Well, it comes out that that was true. After President Woodrow Wilson suffered a debilitating stroke, Edith Wilson made most of the executive decisions in his stead. She effectively ran the country for well over a year, but the government kept it quiet for fear that it would cause astir. Number 7, the CIA tested LSD and other hallucinogenic drugs on Americans? No way. Well, it's true. Matter of fact, as part of a top secret experiment on behavior modification called MK Ultra, the CIA tested volunteers for a time. Eventually, they began testing people without their knowledge, let alone consent, and they left many of the test subjects with permanent mental disabilities as a result of this testing. Number 8, the Dalai Lama was a CIA agent. That was a conspiracy theory. I mean, are you serious? Are you serious? Leave the drama for your mama. Call Obama and the Dalai Lama and don't get a llama. What? And don't even talk about Osama, no, bin Laden. No, it's true. According to declassified intelligence documents in the 1960s, the CIA provided the Tibetan resistance with $17 million a year if they would aid the guerrilla operations against China, including an annual subsidy of $180,000 a year for the Dalai Lama. What? And number 9, that there's a conspiracy theory that the FBI spied on the Beatles, their band member John Lennon. Well, it's true. According to the CIA vocal advocate of the 1960s and 70s, the anti-war counterculture John Lennon was put under surveillance by the FBI in 1971. A year later, the Immigration and Naturalization Service attempted to deport John Lennon, but he was ultimately deemed to be too influenced by narcotics to act as an effective revolutionary. And number 10, there was a conspiracy theory that Canada developed a gaydar machine in the 1960s, and I'm not joking. Paranoid about sexual orientation, the Canadian government hired a university professor to develop a machine that detected orientation in federal employees. The resulting machine measured the pupil's dilation, the perspiration, and the pulse in response to same-sex pornography. Those tested were told that the machine's purpose was to rate their stress levels. But the truth was, the government wanted to remove its gay employees. Subsequently, more than 400 men were excluded or fired from civil service in Canada, the military, and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. More than 9,000 people were investigated. Are you serious? Well, that's 10 conspiracy theories that were true. Some of them so bizarre. I mean, the Dalai Lama? What? Unbelievable. Anyway, thank you for being a member of Patreon, and I'll continue to bring forth more sensitive information to be revealed. Give your life to Jesus Christ, and if you are saved, tell others. Time is running out. Are you serious?